What do you mean you can't find it? That's not what I want to hear at all. I don't want to hear, I can't find your coil. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about something a little bit different. We are going to be talking about my experience with the copper coil. The copper coil is a form of contraception and it is non-hormonal, so it's made out of copper and there's something to do with the copper that stops any pregnancy happening. So in 2015 I decided that I wanted some non-hormonal contraception. Disclaimer, before you listen to this, I'll put a disclaimer, like a timestamp down below as well. If you are squeamish or don't like listening to things happening with bodily functions, surgery, I don't know what else, just like gross stuff, I'd recommend not watching, or I would recommend maybe skipping ahead a little bit to the conclusion of this video. I'll put that in I'll put a timestamp down below as well. But yeah, full disclaimer, this is not a fun story, so yeah, just putting that out there. Okay. So, in 2015 I got the copper coil. I went to the doctors and I asked them if I could have non-hormonal contraception. She was very hesitant. It's usually for people who've only had children, but I was very, very adamant that I wanted the copper IUD because I didn't want hormonal contraception anymore. I dealt with it in my teenage years, I bloody hated it, and I just didn't want it, and I was adamant. I was like, I don't want the pill, I want the IUD. Wish I never, but we'll get to it. So I was adamant, so finally she was like, okay, yeah, we can do that for you. I had my appointment booked to get the IUD in, and the day of my appointment arrived, I was absolutely bricking it. It's like a T-shaped little coil made out of copper that I'm pretty sure it just goes in like this, but then when it actually is in your uterus it expands into a T, if that makes any sense. So yeah, absolutely bricking it, but I thought it'll be alright, but I knew it was gonna hurt, but I was prepared, and I was just like, I need to get it. I don't want any hormones anymore. I'm tired of taking like hormones I don't need. I just don't want it. So the day of my appointment came. There was a nurse practitioner as well there who was kindly there to hold my hand through it, but also to hand the doctor anything she needed. So I laid down on this bed and she got the copper coil out, and the nurse practitioner held my hand, and I'm gripping my hands right now because I'm like going back to that time and I'm thinking, oh. She puts the copper coil in, and I can only describe this feeling. Any women out there, especially, sorry to leave you out men, but any women that have put tampons in before, if you put it in the wrong way it feels really weird and like tight and uncomfortable, and you're like, oh no, I don't like that, like I need to take it out, it's not right. It feels just like not right, you know? It felt like a combination of that, so a tampon going in wrong, and it also had a burning sensation as well as a very, very, very intense period pain, which I can only describe as like similar to the feeling of getting a tattoo, that kind of like scratchy burning sensation in my lower abdomen as she's putting the coil in, and like everything in my body doing this, just clenching because I'm in so much pain, and I'm laid down and I'm saying to the doctor, stop, like this hurts so much, this, surely it can't hurt this bad. And she said, no, it's fine, like it's nearly it's nearly in, it's nearly fine. And I was like, okay. So I just breathed and held the nurse practitioner's hand, and I was like, okay, it's just like, it'll be in a second, then all the pain will be over. So I'm in excruciating pain at this point, gripping onto this nurse's hand. I'm thinking, this should not hurt this much, surely, but also maybe it does. I've never experienced this before, so maybe it does. I mean, I haven't had children, so maybe it's just more painful for people who haven't had children. Finally, she's done. I get off the bed and I am staring at the floor thinking I'm gonna pass out. I just felt really, really bad and really off. Like, I knew something wasn't quite right, but I also thought, I've never had this before, I've never experienced this before. It's normal, so just, you know, ride it through, take some pain relief, and it'll be fine. So I do that, and I think about 4 months go by. Those 4 months were so excruciating, it was unreal. So I would wake up every single day with a pain in my left side, which is important for later, a pain in my left side of my abdomen, and it would feel like something was trying to claw my insides, like someone was trying to tear my insides apart. But then it got to a point where I thought, I really don't think this is right. I was telling my mum and my nan used to be a nurse, I was telling them that I really don't feel good. I feel dizzy all the time, I'm in pain every single day, my body just feels off, something is going on. So finally I rang the doctors and got an appointment, and I spoke to the doctor about my symptoms, the pain in my left side, like a period pain, but also like a burning, scratching pain. The same doctor that fitted my coil that I had the appointment with. So I went to the appointment and she said that, so she went up and she couldn't find the coil anywhere, not a thing, she couldn't find anything, and she said, oh, I can't feel the strings. And I remember lying there thinking, what do you mean you can't find it? That's not what I want to hear at all. I don't want to hear, I can't find your coil. But anyway, she couldn't find it, so she sent me for an ultrasound. So I waited a couple weeks and went for my ultrasound appointment, and they also couldn't find it. They couldn't find it in my uterus, but they did find it behind my left ovary. So they found on the ultrasound a tear in my uterus and the copper IUD sitting behind my left ovary. So they said that what had happened, and that they would, so surgery would later confirm this, that what had happened was when the IUD was fitted, it perforated my uterus then. So as the doctor put the IUD in, it had perforated the uterus instantly. So it would have gone in at an angle and just come out the other side of the uterus. So instead of sitting in, I'm not good at analogies, but instead of sitting in the uterus in the middle, it had just gone out the side. And they said it's very rare that a copper IUD can even perforate a uterus, but if it has enough force, it can obviously rip through, because it's made of metal, so, you know. So, yeah. So I have messages that I sent to my cousin and various other family members, which I will put up in a minute when I talk about what actually fully happened in the surgeon said had happened to my body. So I had a pre-op, and then I had my surgery in 2016. So I think it was fitted September 2015 and my surgery was April 2016. So I was having the pain actually for about 6 months. So I had my keyhole surgery. I was completely out of it, just so out of it. And I remember the doctor coming up to me after the surgery and saying to my nan, who was a nurse, and she obviously wanted to know the details of what had happened, he said that the IUD had hooked my bowel and my fallopian tube together, which they had to obviously separate in surgery, and that my left fallopian tube was damaged. So there's a risk of me having a ectopic pregnancy, potentially. I personally do not want kids for my own reasons, but there's a chance I could have an ectopic pregnancy anyway because my left fallopian tube is quite damaged. So yeah, my bowel and my fallopian tube were stuck together from the coil. It had hooked them both together, and it was just sitting around my left ovary, and that's why I was in so much pain. So before the surgery, actually, they asked me if I wanted to have another one put in properly, and I said yes, because I thought, well, if they're already taking one out that's not in my uterus anyway, then they can put one in the correct place after, and maybe I can have what I wanted in the beginning, which was just a working IUD. So I said yes, so they did that. So yeah, that's what happened with the IUD. It was stuck, my bowel and my fallopian tube were stuck together, and it was just hanging around outside my ovary. No, behind my left ovary. And I think he said that it was good that they removed it at that time because it could have been a lot worse damage if I had left it any longer. But obviously I didn't know that that's what was causing the pain. I just thought maybe it was just, I don't know what I thought. I just thought, like, I know something's not right, but I've never had one before, so I don't really know. So yeah, that's what the surgeon said. So I was sent home with a new IUD in my uterus, in the right place. Not in the right place, but we'll get to that. But he did confirm that the IUD must have been perforated at the time of fitting because there was a tear in my uterus wall, and yeah, he said that that is most likely what had happened, that it had been perforated while it was being inserted, because I was in a lot of pain, and a lot of pain is not normal. So fun. So when it was put in, I was in excruciating pain because it was staring through my uterus wall and plopped out behind my ovary, and then sat there and messed around with my bowel and my fallopian tube, which is great. Anyway, so I come home, and at this point I'm in sixth form, I think. No, foundation. I was doing an art diploma and I had a week off to recover, and it was a very spacey week of recovery. I was in a lot of pain, but had pain relief, so that was good, and I recovered pretty well, but I couldn't really do much for a while because I was very sore from the surgery. And so yeah, I had this new IUD. This is still in 2016, so yeah. So I eventually go to university in September 2016, and everything's pretty much fine. I have a new boyfriend at this point. It's not my boyfriend anymore, but I have this boyfriend and I have protection, so everything's great. I have an IUD and I'm you know, I'm prepared. So I start having really weird pains around the end of 2016, and I'm with my boyfriend and I say, I know something's not right, I'm in a lot of pain on my left side again, and the surgeon did say to me that if I do have pains it's because of the adhesions that happened in surgery. So I'm just thinking this is just the adhesions and stuff, like this is just because I've had surgery and, you know, everything's a bit sore, a bit like worn out. Eventually it gets to be too much and I go back to the doctors and they send me for another ultrasound because they're afraid that something has happened, and I go to get my ultrasound and the IUD is sitting right at the bottom of my uterus and it is not in my uterus properly. It is way too far out of my uterus to be considered effective. Now at this point I'm not using double protection, so she said there's a very, very high chance I could have been, should have been, and probably was pregnant, but she couldn't see a pregnancy in the ultrasound. And at this point I'm thinking, what is happening? Like, this can't happen to me again, like surely, like come on, like what else? So like what else could happen, you know? But yeah, she said the coil is way too low down to be effective, and that because I was only relying on that as my protection, I was basically at risk of getting pregnant for about 2 or 3 months. So she said, you need to take a pregnancy test, but also we need to take this out and you need to have contraception on now. So I went back to the doctors, they prescribed me the patch. The patch is bloody awful. Well, it was for me anyway. It was, oh God, it was not fun. Obviously it's hormonal. I didn't want to do it, but I just thought maybe non-hormonal was not for me. And I never tried the patch, so I didn't really know. I remember the patch just made me feel absolutely nauseous all the time. And I thought, oh my Christ, I'm pregnant. Like, that's just it, I'm pregnant, like, oh my God, like, all of these months, like, I'm definitely pregnant. So I took a pregnancy test, I wasn't pregnant, which is so incredibly, I don't know how I didn't get pregnant after 2 months of my IUD not even working. I mean, I think she said it wasn't working at all, especially when I was relying on that as my contraception. It definitely wouldn't have worked. So yeah, the fact that I didn't get pregnant at all is just crazy. But yeah, after that I just decided, you know what, no more contraception in my body, please. I don't want any. Condoms are fine. I'm just going to use condoms for the rest of my life because I cannot deal with any more contraception. Like, so yeah, I decided that I wasn't going to be on any contraception and that I was just going to use condoms. That was 2017? Yeah, late 2017 that I came off it, and so yeah, that's my IUD copper coil story. Fun. So in summary, it didn't go where it was supposed to go, and then it damaged my fallopian tube and my bowel, which puts me at risk of an ectopic pregnancy now. I had another one fitted during surgery. That ended up being way too low, which means that I could have got pregnant at any time because it wasn't working. I had that removed, and then I had a patch, and that was bloody awful as well. So now I'm not on any contraception apart from condoms. Hope you enjoyed. It's kind of sad, I guess, a bit of a fail, I mean a massive fail really. But I hope you found this interesting, maybe a little bit educational. I don't know if this is educational at all, but I would advise that if you are going to get a IUD fitted, please go to someone that has done it before. Just gonna say this, my doctor had done several coil fittings before and nothing like this has ever happened, and I actually really like this doctor and I felt really bad for her because I don't think that she definitely didn't mean for this to happen, you know. Yeah, I would say if you're thinking about getting the IUD, maybe get it done by someone who solely knows and fits coils and is all contraception based. Maybe go to a sexual health clinic, a hospital, I don't know, but just know who is fitting it. Be very vigilant. If you have any kind of pain after it's been fitted for like more than a month, go see your doctor. Even if it ends up being nothing and the coil is fine, just go and see your doctor, please, because I made the mistake of trying to live with it and it ruined my life for several months before I thought maybe I should go to the doctor. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if you would have enjoyed this video at all, but maybe if you did, then give it a like. Any questions that you guys have, please send a little comment down below asking me anything you like. I am going to be down there answering any questions that you have. If you're curious about anything, just anything really, I'll be happy to answer them. I've never talked about this story online before, so if you are curious or want to ask anything, please ask because I am more than willing to answer. Please subscribe if you would like to. I think we have like 110 subscribers. That's crazy. I never thought I'd get to 100, so that's absolutely mad. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you're having a good day. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and do something for yourself today. And also drink lots of water. And also if you have an IUD fitted and it hurts, ring your doctor. Okay, see you guys later. Bye!